There's a guy in Ohio with 3 mortgages, 2 business loans, and a line of credit he's never fully paid off. His neighbors think he's reckless. He's worth $14 million. 2 houses down, there's a woman with 0 mortgage, 0 car payment, not even a credit card. She rents a 1 bedroom apartment and calls herself financially safe. She's worth $40,000. Same street, similar paychecks, completely different relationship with debt, and only one of them is playing the game right. And it's not the one you'd guess. This isn't a video about avoiding debt. It's not about paying everything off as fast as humanly possible either. It's about the one question rich people ask before they borrow a single dollar, a question almost nobody else ever thinks to ask. Does this debt buy an asset, or does it buy a liability? That's the entire divide, not income, not luck. One question. Watch how the wealthy actually use debt, and the pattern is almost boring. A real estate investor puts $50,000 down and controls a $250,000 property. Not the house you live in, a rental that pays you every month. The bank's money buys the other $200,000. The tenant's rent covers the mortgage. The property appreciates on the full $250,000, not just the down payment. Let's do the actual math. 4% appreciation on $250,000 is $10,000 in year one. $10,000 on a $50,000 down payment is a 20% return. Not on the full price, on your money. Read that again. 20%. That's what leverage means. It isn't a trick. It's multiplication, dressed up as debt. A business owner takes out a $30,000 loan for a delivery van. The van brings in $80,000 a year in new contracts. The loan isn't a burden, it's a multiplier wearing a disguise. Even billionaires do this. Executives borrow against their own stock instead of selling it. It's cheaper than the tax bill, and the shares keep growing while the loan just sits there quietly working. None of this is reckless. It's arithmetic. The cost of the debt is lower than what the debt builds. Here's where it gets interesting, because none of that is the hard part. The hard part is inside your skull. Your brain doesn't do math. It does threat detection. The amygdala, the part of you built to spot danger, cannot tell the difference between a $500 credit card balance and a $500,000 mortgage. Both get flagged the same way, as a hole, a leak, something that could get you killed if the tribe runs out of food before spring. This is loss aversion, first measured by Kahneman and Tversky. A loss registers in your brain almost twice as intensely as an equal-sized gain. Owing money doesn't feel like leverage. It feels like exposure, like something is missing that should be there. That fear kept humans alive for a very long time. Debt to another hunter-gatherer was social. It was dangerous. It could get you cast out of the only group standing between you and the winter. Your brain is still running that exact program, except the stakes aren't tribal survival anymore. They're a mortgage statement sitting unopened on the kitchen counter. There's a reason this feeling has a physical signature. Cortisol spikes, heart rate climbs, the same stress response your ancestors got from a predator triggered by a piece of mail. Your body can't tell the difference between a bear and a bill, and it's not just biology. Most of us inherited this fear directly from a parent who lived through a layoff, a grandparent who lived through a recession, a culture that treats debt-free as a moral achievement instead of a financial strategy. By the time you're an adult, the fear isn't even yours, it's borrowed. Ironic considering the subject. So most people do the only thing that fear allows. They treat every debt as equally dangerous. They pay off a 3% mortgage early, while their savings account earns nothing sitting right next to it. They walk away from a business loan that would triple their revenue because the number on the page makes their chest tighten before their brain even finishes reading it. The wealthy didn't get past this fear because they're braver than you, not smarter, not luckier. They got past it because somebody taught them, early and on purpose, to separate the emotion from the math. And here's who benefits when you never make that separation. Every debt-free at all costs guru selling you a course. Every headline that treats a mortgage and a payday loan like the same species of danger. Fear is just easier to sell than nuance. Debt is evil fits on a thumbnail. The difference between a loan that builds you up and one that bleeds you dry does not. So here's the actual rule. Not debt is good, not debt is bad. 3 questions in order every time. 1. Does it buy an asset that pays you or a liability that costs you the moment you own it? 2. Is the cost of the debt lower than the return on what it buys? A 6% loan funding something that returns 12 is leverage. A 24% credit card funding a vacation is just borrowed regret with a due date. 3. What does it cost you if you don't take it? A rental property you never bought. A business that never scaled past one person. A skill you never paid to learn. That cost never shows up on a statement, which is exactly why almost nobody calculates it. Good debt usually looks like this: a mortgage on a property that cash flows, a loan for equipment or inventory that pays for itself within a year, a reasonable loan for education that raises your income by more than the payment. Bad debt usually looks like this: a credit card carrying a balance, a loan for a depreciating asset you can't otherwise afford. Any debt taken out to look rich instead of to become rich. Run the test on something as ordinary as a degree. A $40,000 loan for a credential that raises your income by $8,000 a year pays for itself in 5. That's not a burden. That's the same math as the rental property, wearing a cap and gown. The same loan for a degree that raises your income by nothing is just debt with a diploma attached. Not every debt passes this test, and it shouldn't. A car loan on something losing value the second you drive it off the lot rarely passes. A credit card carrying a balance month to month almost never does. But a mortgage on a property that cash flows from day one? A loan on equipment that pays for itself in 8 months? Those pass every single time. The people who understand that aren't gamblers. They're the only ones in the room doing the math. You're not bad with money because you're afraid of debt. You're human. Your brain is doing exactly the job it evolved to do thousands of years before mortgages existed. But evolution never met an index fund. It never met an 8% loan that funds a business worth 10 times what it costs to start. Your amygdala doesn't know the difference between a threat and an opportunity wearing the same paperwork. You get to know better. That's the whole advantage the wealthy have, not more courage, not more luck. Just a rule that runs where the fear used to. Now you do too. If this changed how you think about debt, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Your brain has a lot more of these blind spots, and we're only getting started. I'm Grant, and I'll see you in the next one.